Okay, let's dive into this source material. Rational Self-Mastery Through the Mental Eye. It's drawn from the Mental Eye Unveiled.
Right, by the One for All Project official, Taba GP, and Erabat Navi.
And our mission really is to unpack the core ideas here. What is rational self-mastery according to this source, and how can you maybe awaken this mental eye they talk about?
Yeah, and that mental eye concept is pretty central. They define it as your ability, your sort of inner capacity to see reality clearly.
Clearly, how, though?
Well, with balance and insight, it's about blending logic, emotion, intuition, and wisdom. It's not just one thing.
Okay, so it's an integration,
Mm.
not just pure logic or pure gut feeling.
Exactly. They mention learning to zoom in and out.
What does that mean, practically?
It's about seeing the details, the specifics, but also the big picture, the context, seeing how things connect.
Right, seeing the patterns others might miss.
Yeah, and consciously shifting that perspective, they argue that's really key to getting deeper insights, no matter how much experience you have.
That flexibility sounds, well, really useful. Yeah. Now, the source also tackles some common myths, things that hold people back. First one, I don't have time for this stuff.
That's a big one. But they push back hard on needing, like, hours for meditation.
So what's their truth on it?
Small, consistent daily practices. That's the key. Integrating mindful moments into your day.
Like what? Give me an example.
Maybe just pausing for a minute after a tricky conversation, thinking about how you reacted, or noticing how you respond to, say, your phone buzzing. Micro practices.
Okay, that makes it feel less daunting. What about the idea that wisdom only comes with age?
They tackle that too. Experience helps, sure, but they argue wisdom is fundamentally about perception.
Perception.
Yeah, how deeply you see into things. The mental eye helps train that ability, letting anyone gain insights just by changing how they look, regardless of age.
Seeing past the surface level. Okay, myth 3 is a really common one. Being rational means you have to ignore your emotions.
And this source says absolutely not. They're very clear. True rationality integrates logic and emotion. Integrates.
Emotions aren't a problem to be squashed. They're data, useful information that when you understand it alongside logic actually makes your decisions better.
So using your head and heart together.
You got it. It enhances self-awareness too.
Makes sense. And the last myth feels very current. Technology is killing my ability to think.
Yeah, and their take is quite practical. It's not the tech's fault, it's how you use it.
Say it's on us.
Pretty much. The book talks about mindful use, using tech to sharpen your thinking maybe for organizing research while actively filtering out the digital noise.
Instead of just being overwhelmed by it.
Exactly. Make it work for your mental eye.
Right, becoming a conscious user. Okay, so moving to the practical side, the source offers tools and skills. What stands out there?
The focus is definitely on practice and refinement. They have this concept called self-iteration.
Self-iteration.
Yeah, it's basically like a continuous feedback loop. You look at your actions, your thoughts, figure out why you did things a certain way.
And then adjust. And then slightly adjust your approach for next time. Like debugging your own mental habits through reflection.
Like a personal software update.
Kind of, yeah. And they highlight using empathy plus logic together, consciously combining structured thought with emotional understanding.
For decisions or understanding people.
Both. It's a deliberate practice, integrating those things we often keep separate.
And they loop technology back in here too, right? Using it as a tool for focus.
Yes. Actively using apps maybe to filter distractions, organize ideas, amplify your focus, rather than letting the digital world just fragment it.
Interesting. They also mention learning from great thinkers in history.
But not just copying what they said. It's about understanding their approach. How did they handle complexity? What were their mental models?
Running how they thought.
Exactly. And underpinning all this is making inquiry and reflection daily habits. Actively asking questions, pausing to think. That's how you build wisdom day to day and resist that feeling of information overload.
So it becomes part of your routine. Okay, let's bring this together. What's the so what for you listening? This dive into rational self-mastery through the mental eye. It doesn't sound like a quick fix.
No, definitely not. It's presented more like a roadmap. The idea is that clarity and effective action come from integrating all of you, logic, emotions, intuition, the wisdom you build up.
And awakening that mental eye is the path.
That's the path they lay out. It's about navigating life with, grounded wisdom, emotional smarts, mental clarity, thinking clearly, feeling deeply, acting intentionally, growing.
So real self-mastery isn't about cutting parts off or hiding from the world, but skillfully bringing it all together, thoughts, feelings, even tech.
That's the core message, integration.
Which leaves us with a question for you to think about.
Mm.
How could you start practicing that kind of mindful integration of your thoughts, your feelings, maybe even how you use your phone starting today to begin awakening your own mental eye?